Now, let us have a look at carbon compounds. So we just saw what saturated and unsaturated carbon compounds are. So compounds of carbon which are linked by only single bonds are called saturated compounds. Carbon compounds, for example, ethane. Structure of ethane would be like, so as you can see, there are single bonds everywhere. So this is an example of saturated carbon compound. Now, if there are double or triple bonds, they are known as unsaturated compounds. So example, ethene, this is how ethene would look like. The structure of ethene would look like. So the unsaturated compounds, they are more reactive than the saturated compounds. In the C and C double bond, usually, in a single bond, there are 2 electrons are shared, usually. But here, 4 electrons are shared. So, okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, just a second. Yeah. So here you can see in the single bond we used to share only so carbon needs 4 electrons to complete its octet, so so as you can see, here only 2 electrons are being shared in this picture between the carbon atoms, whereas when a double bond is formed, so 4 electrons are being shared. Now, chains and branches in carbon compounds. We saw the concept of isomerism in previous slides. So, carbon, it can sometimes have all the carbons in a single long chain, that is N form. But for some chemical formulas, for example, we saw for butane, alternative structures are also possible. So, which is, there can be branches in the chain. This is N-butane and as you can see, okay, so it has two branches emerging from this single carbon atom. So this is going to be neo form. We also saw that carbon has ability to form ring-like structure as that of benzene. So in the benzene, we saw that it has alternating single and double bonds. This is the structure of benzene, C6H6. Now, as we saw that a ring itself is a complex structure, but carbon can form even more complicated carbon compounds, which can have, both ring and chains. So the structure given below, it shows the structure of aspirin, which is used for relieving headaches. So as you can see, C9, C9H8O4 is the molecular structure of aspirin. So this is how, it has alternating single and double bond in it, and some oxygen molecules are also linked with it. So this is this is an example of, more complicated carbon compounds. You don't have to remember this structure, but yeah, this was to show that carbon has ability to form even more complicated carbon compounds. Now have a look at some carbon compounds based on the number of carbon atoms they have. Suppose we have one carbon atom, so this would be methane, for 2 ethane, for 3 propane, for 4 butane, for 5 pentane. These all compounds, they are the saturated ones. They do not have any double or triple bond present in them. So this is these all are examples of saturated carbon compounds. Now, alkenes and alkynes. So we just saw what saturated carbon compounds are. So the saturated hydrocarbons, they are called as alkanes. So the previous one, in the previous table that we saw, these were alkanes. The suffix "ane", this suggests these are alkanes. Whereas unsaturated hydrocarbons, they are called alkenes or alkynes. If they have a double bond present in them, they are called as alkene, or if they have triple bonds, they are called as alkynes. Now, functional groups. So, where carbon is bonded with other atoms. So, carbon, it sometimes forms bond with other atoms like oxygen, nitrogen, halogens, and sulfur. Halogens are nothing but, family of chlorine, bromine, fluorine even. So yeah, so these atoms, which replace hydrogen, these are called heteroatoms. Because in the previous slides we saw that carbon is usually, it is forming bonds with hydrogen, but there are a few atoms which can replace hydrogen, and these are called as heteroatoms. So these heteroatoms and the group containing these, they give some special properties to the carbon compounds, and hence they are known as functional groups. Now let us have a look at some examples of functional groups. Heteroatoms, so chlorine, bromine. The class of compounds is halogens, and the functional group formula is ClBr. They substitute for hydrogen atom. Oxygen, it can be further classified into different classes of compounds. For example, alcohol, its functional group formula is OH. For aldehyde, the functional group formula is CHO. For ketone, it is C double bond O. And for carboxylic acid, it has COOH. In which, its structure is something like this: C double bond O and OH. Now, homologous series of compounds. A series of compounds in which the same functional group is present, it is called a homologous series. For example, let us take halogens. Suppose we have a series of compound in which we have halogens only, so that would be a homologous series. The length of the carbon chain is different, but chemical properties will be similar because the classes, the class of compounds, they are going to act in a same way. So what functional groups, they are giving different chemical properties to the carbon compounds. So if they are of same class or same functional group, they are going to possess similar chemical properties, but the length, it may vary. And again, as the molecular mass increases, so the melting and boiling point also increase for the compounds in homologous series. This is a homologous series of alkanes. We saw the names of these compounds in previous slide. So where each molecule differs from the next by a CH2 group. So here our CH2 group is the required group, and every compound is differing by CH2 group. Now, nomenclature of organic compounds. How do we name these organic compounds? So there is a procedure that you have to follow for naming these carbon compounds. The first one is identify the number of carbon atoms. For example, suppose if the number is 3, it would have the name propane in the case of alkanes only, but the prefix would be prop. For 4 atoms, carbon atoms, it would be but. In case a functional group is present, it is indicated in the name using either a prefix or a suffix. So suppose we have halogen class, so it would be something like chloroethane. Suppose chlorine is there, so it would be like chloroethane. If the name of functional group is given as a suffix and the suffix of the functional group begins with A, E, I, O, U, that is with vowels. So in this case, we have to delete the final E and add the functional group suffix to it. For example, let us see the propane. So the suffix of the functional group, it is on and it is ending with vowel E. So it would become propanone. And if the carbon chain is unsaturated, that is, it has double or triple bond, the final ane is replaced by E or ine, alkene or alkyne. Now, how do we name functional groups? Haloalkanes, it is, I told you earlier that it will always be in the prefix. So chloro, bromo, fluoro. Alcohol, its suffix would be ol, ethanol. Aldehyde, ethanol. Ketone, on, as we saw, propanone. Carboxylic acid, oic acid, ethanoic acid. Alkenes, ethene. Alkynes, butane. So that is how the naming works. Now question time. How many structural isomers can you draw for pentane? We saw this in the previous slide, we studied this. So pause this video and you can do it by yourself, else I'll be doing it for you. So there are 3 structural isomers possible for pentane. One is N-pentane, the straight chain Okay. So this is N-pentane, isopentane with the single branching. Okay. So this is isopentane, and in neopentane we'll be doing double branching. So one here and one here, and you can complete the rest of the hydrogens. Now question number 2. What are the two properties of carbon which lead to the huge number of carbon compounds we see around us? So first one is catenation. The ability of carbon to form long chains. So this is one reason, and the second one is tetravalency, or we can say small size of carbon, as the nucleus can hold on to the electrons very tightly, so small size. So here are some properties of carbon which lead to the huge number of carbon compounds. Now, what will be the formula and electron dot structure of cyclopentane? So, as the name suggests, it is going to be a cyclic structure, cyclopentane. So, it would have, okay, 5 number of carbon atoms, C, C, and like this. So now we can fill the hydrogens. Like this. So formula for this would be C5H10, and for electron dot structure, it would be really messy, but let me draw it, the one for you. So this 1 2 3 4. So this is how the electron dot structure is going to look like. So you can do it by yourself, because if I'll be doing it, it would look really messy here. But I hope you got the idea. Now draw the structures for the following compounds. The first one we have with us is ethanoic acid. So as the name suggests, eth, it is going to have 2 carbon compounds, 2 carbon atoms. And oic acid, carboxylic acid. So I showed you in the previous slide. This is how this functional group is shown. So this is the structure of ethanoic acid. The second one we have with us is bromopentane. So it would be CH3, CH2, CH2, pentane. So we are going to have 5 carbon atoms, 1 2 3 4 5, and 1 bromine, bromopentane. So are structural isomers possible for bromopentane? Absolutely yes, because we can do the branching, isoform or neoform. So yeah, there are structural isomers possible for bromopentane, but let us have a look at the N form of bromopentane. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here we have bromine, and you can complete the rest remaining hydrogens. Yes. So this is the normal form of bromopentane, but yes, the structural isomers are possible. Now butanol. As the name suggests, 4 carbon atoms. Ketone would be the functional group present here. CH3, CH2, C double bond O, and CH3. So this is how butanol will look like. Now hexanol. Now hexanol, as the name suggests, CH3, CH2, 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 and now CHO. Aldehyde is going to be present here as the functional group. So where can I draw this? Okay, I'm drawing it here. CH2 and for the last it would look like O N H, CHO. So yeah, this would be the structure of hexanol. Fourth one.